On the banks of the Rideau River, just on the Carleton University campus, we're looking at a thing with an awful name of bladdernut, better known as rattlebox, which is a rare southern shrub that has been growing here for probably thousands of years, but we know that this particular plant that we're looking at today was collected by the famous botanist James Fletcher in 1879. It's the very same plant here today. We're about 200 meters, I'm guessing, south of the National Wildlife Research Center, right on the banks of the river by a little side swale of the river. It is a piece of information about how this river system works. The Rideau River is a highway, an ecological highway, has been for thousands of years, and things come up and down it all the time. This beastie is a southern species, not supposed to be here, so what were the circumstances that allowed it to be here? We figure those out, we learn something about the history of the river, how the entire river system worked. It is associated with other species that are like that. There's a giant black maple tree nearby here, for instance, which tells us this once was a very different landscape, much more like, say, the north shore of Lake Erie than the north shore of the Rideau River. And it tells us something about how all of eastern Canada recovered from the Champlain Sea. This was first found here by two really important pioneer biologists, naturalists in the Ottawa area, one called Radish Billings Jr., associated with the famous Billings Bridge family, and the other, James Fletcher, associated with the establishing research at Agriculture Canada. But in their day lives, not their day jobs, they did this sort of thing. We want to get Carleton to recognize this formally, put a sign here, it'd be appropriate. The site needs a little management because it's overgrown with invasive weeds, which the bladdernut is coping with nicely, but it could be improved, and there should be an interpretive sign. This is a really neat interpretive moment for an educational institution to have on their own campus, for heaven's sakes. So they need to do that.